Greetings, villains, vigilantes, heroes, and heroines.
You're tuned in to Project SuperVillain. We're your hosts. I'm ArcDrifter.
I'm Killboss.
We're back, and it's time for another top 5. It's November coming up here, guys, so we've got more games coming out, and surprisingly, a lot less than I was expecting. We have good games coming out. There's some big releases, but I just expected a lot more. October was way more stacked than November, but that being said, as always, we've got 5 and maybe a 6th one to take a look at here, guys, so let's just do that already, shall we?
Yeah, okay, let's get into the peach right now. Peach it.
This one doesn't get a number. It's Call of Duty Vanguard, guys. We don't even want to give this one any noteworthiness, but it's a big game. It's coming out. It's kind of just can't be ignored, but we are going to ignore it because, you know, we don't like Activision Blizzard, and
I'm not gonna buy any of their stuff.
Dude, it's a yearly release, guys. Like, this is another one in the olden wartime stuff. I'm just sick of this stuff, guys. Let's move on.
You know what else? No, you know what else I'm sick of while we're at it? The fact that Activision Blizzard likes to abuse their employees, both physically, emotionally, financially, and then expect everybody to just gobble up all the bullshit that they dribble out onto the market that is barely functional.
Try to hide it all after.
Yeah, sweep it under the rug, and they're trying to get out of being out of all the lawsuits and everything. You know what? So fuck them, not supporting a company that does all that shit to their employees. They can suck my cocks and...
Number 5, Jurassic World Evolution 2.
So on November 9th, we get to see some more Jurassic World. This game obviously looks like it's just going to be more of the same thing, but they've added some pretty cool story elements. Now this is going to be out on the PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and the Series S and X. Developed and published by Frontier Developments.
So, like the previous game before it, it's going to be a simulation building sort of game with some strategy elements mixed in there. It is essentially letting you create your own Jurassic Park. You know, you get to create your own theme park, so that's going to be cool. Don't fuck it up like they did in the movies, or you're going to have a couple lawsuits on your hand. Do they have lawsuit mechanics in this game for you to fuck up?
They really should, because at this point, it's needed. It's like, come on, like they should have some countermeasures to this stuff by now.
Because bad shit already happened since it's set in the aftermath of the Jurassic Park Fallen Kingdom film. And dinosaurs are just roaming free across the U.S., so you'd figure somewhere in there's a bunch of class action lawsuits for this company.
An important distinction here is that aftermath stuff we just talked about is actually just for the campaign. So when you're playing the story mode, that's what the story's based around, is you trying to fix the United States, which is ridden with dinosaurs.
That's
kind of funny, but also the regular mode still exists. If you want to just create your own Jurassic World and a regular theme park on a separated island, you can still do that. And there's even going to be the ability to mess around with some of the classic parks and whatnot too. So I thought that was pretty cool. There's going to be some pretty cool stuff here if you're a fan of the Jurassic Park / Jurassic World series. Yeah, we don't have a lot of information for this one here, guys, so we're going to move on to the next one.
Number 4, Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1.
This one's a little bit further down the road, guys. This one comes out on November 16th for the PC, PS4, and 5, Xbox Series S and X, Xbox One, and the older editions of this game, you know, the last-gen versions. Those will come a little bit later. We're going to get the new-gen stuff first. But developed by Frogwares, published by Frogwares. Imagine that. These guys are doing a lot of work on their own. That's awesome. As you probably expect, it's a mystery game. It's a detective sort of thing. You know, obviously you're playing as Sherlock Holmes, so what did you expect? So they've also mixed it in with the open world aspect that they're planning here. So, you know, you'll be getting to roam around different locales and different maps and trying to find clues and doing main quests and side quests. It's going to be a whole detective experience mixed in with a cinematic adventure appeal.
Yeah, it's going to be taking on a younger version of Sherlock Holmes, kind of almost like a prequel to his fame, more or less. So we mentioned that there's main cases and side cases. One thing that's really important about these cases is that you can actually start up these cases and go through, and if you fuck it up, if you fail, that's it. You don't get to restart it. It's not like a game over screen and retry it after that. You just fail it and your reputation's tarnished.
Yeah.
So don't do that. Make sure you think things through when you're playing this game, because it's going to be a little bit more of a thinker than most, I imagine.
Otherwise, you won't be the world's greatest detective. You'll suck.
You'll just suck.
You'll just suck. Okay, so So a big part of this game will be its decision-based gameplay. Obviously, that is going to be one of the main things that you will be doing because it'll involve a lot of conversing with different people and gathering suspects and clues and making decisions as to who to accuse and who's innocent. And because of that, that will affect the way that the game plays and how characters respond to you, and you will also get multiple endings out of all that. They've really intertwined and stitched all of these narratives together, and it seems so far like they've done it in a brilliant and cohesive way.
Obviously, this is a Sherlock Holmes game, and what's a Sherlock Holmes game without disguises? So you're going to have to find a way through all these different places and not get caught. So disguises are obviously the best way to do that. And sometimes you got to be the turtliest man in the Turtle Club.
Just ask Agent 47.
So the game actually features combat as well, which is great. I was just hoping it wasn't just going to be like,
Chatting with people.
And then like when things go down, it's just like, oh,
quick time
events and stuff. Like, I'm okay with those, but there's going to be actual third-person combat with gunplay. It looks like you can fight people, of course, if they get close to you. There's a bullet time mode, which, things get hectic. Obviously, you get to stop and use your brain faster than everybody else, because that's Sherlock. But you're kind of squishy, so be careful not to take too much damage.
And finally, we do have the last feature to mention here is that you will have a customizable mansion, which is really interesting. We didn't get a whole lot of information on that one, but it does look like you're going to be able to purchase different rooms in the place to be built and different furnishings for them. Maybe keep some of your trophies from cases in those rooms. So it'll be one of those things that we get to see more when the game comes out. We will get around to playing this one. We've got a lot of other stuff in the way, but this is one we have our eye on for sure.
Oh man, and so with the customizable mansion, I was hoping that you could make the choice to just like fuck up your life right off the bat and just buy all the cocaine. Just, start Holmes off right. But,
yeah, just like Tony Montana.
Yeah, you know what? We'll get to see what happens, I guess. Let's move on to the next one.
Number 3, Battlefield 2042.
I feel like we have a couple games on this list right now coming out on November 19th, and Battlefield 2042 is one of them. So this one's going to be available for the PC, Xbox Series X and S, the Xbox One, and the PS5 and PS4, of course. This is developed by DICE, as it always has been, at least for the longest time, as long as I can remember, and published by, who else? EA, right? So this is definitely still going to be a first-person shooter. They're not really changing up too much there. However, they've kind of got an operators style thing going on, sort of like Rainbow Six does at the moment. So you've got like a bunch of different operators with different classes and different specialities. So that's kind of got those hero shooter elements in there that have become popular in the last 5-6 years.
Yeah, it looks pretty fun, honestly, but we've had reports across the board that the beta is riddled with glitches and stuff, so we're going to be keeping our eye on that. Okay, this is kind of the thing that happens when you're exposed to a certain amount of EA's bullshit. You kind of just break. And so, here's the thing, guys. We're sick and tired of the whole fix it later thing. Guys, don't pre-order this game. Make sure you wait for it to come out and make sure it's not too fucked, because I honestly am worried about that. The game looks fun. I've seen good gameplay clips, and we've seen plenty of glitchy ones as well. So
look, if you were there at the beginning of Battlefield 4, you know exactly what just happened. So
one big thing to note is there's no campaign in this game. The campaign is kind of intertwined in the multiplayer in a weird way. Can't really explain it past that because I'm not really fucking sure what the hell that means.
Yeah, but you give me the same amount of money, right?
Sure.
Yeah?
That's how it works.
Yeah, you give me some $60?
Get out of here. I'm trying to get a point
Fuck
across.
you, man.
The evolving story in the multiplayer essentially is kind of like Overwatch, if anybody played that game. Where I'm guessing you're gonna start off a match and like you're gonna have like little intricate dialogues between operators before the game starts and stuff like that. I'm just guessing here and kind of grasping at straws to kind of guess how they're gonna make a story out of multiplayer mode, which is very repetitive and same thing over and over again, right? So it's tough to see, it's tough to say what they're going to do there with that. But one other thing I want to mention real quick here too is the Xbox One and the PS4 version of the game is going to be limited in comparison to the newer generation version of the game and on PC because it's only going to have 64 players to kind of manage the frame rate and whatnot, whereas the newer and higher end consoles are going to be running 128 player matches. So quite the stark difference in player count there, but I'm guessing it's for a good reason.
So yeah, still 64 players is quite a good amount of players. 128 is absolutely insane, but that's awesome to hear that they're doing that. And this will make their conquest modes and the even more evolved version of that, which is called All Out War. That will make these maps, I imagine, seem mighty hectic and totally like playing through a simulated conflict. Like that's going to be really cool. If you remember Conquest, All Out War is supposed to be just Conquest on steroids, on much bigger maps to accommodate the larger player counts, so that's cool. So speaking of maps, we will be getting 7 maps at launch, and the rest of them that come out after launch will be free, actually, so that's awesome. And then we are also getting 10 operators at launch as well. I don't know if you're going to have to pay for the rest of them after launch, because they will likely be adding more, and they will likely charge for them because, you know, EA, awesome. But 10 at launch, that's going to be cool, so if you want to go check into those, you can find out all the information about those guys. Of course, destructible environments will be returning to, the Levolutions as well, basically massive events that change the way that the map plays, but they're also adding in natural disasters, which is going to be super fun. That's something we haven't seen before, but I'm looking forward to seeing how those change the way that the game plays.
Hopefully it doesn't just like instantly boot you from the game and just crash it. But
Yes.
we'll see, like giant tornadoes, earthquakes, that kind of thing. You know, like I'm looking forward to seeing how that impacts a big game that's already got like lots going on in it to begin with. This is just going to be complete hell. It's going to be, but it's called Hazard Zone. They say it's not a battle royale. They wanted to clarify that, but I have no idea what it's going to be then. Kind of maybe like a contamination mode or some sort of like infected mode, or perhaps, who knows.
I'm wondering about that too, because like when I hear Hazard Zone, I don't know why my brain just goes zombies, but we'll see what happens. I mean, Rainbow Six did their own version of it, like, you know, Call of Duty's got theirs, why not Battlefield do their own version too? So
They all like to ride the same train together.
they all like to ride the same dick, so
Let's move on to the next one, guys.
Number 2, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl.
On November 19th, we're getting a couple games being released, as we just mentioned. This is another one, and it's going to be exclusive to the Switch, of course. Developed by Ilka and published by Nintendo, obviously. The newest Pokemon game is going to be a strategy, turn-based RPG, as you'd expect.
it's like, you mean
a
just like
remake.
the others?
Yes, of course it is. It's just a remake of the originals there, and, well, you know what, it's going to be staying true to that formula, apparently. They're made a point to specifically state that, like, a lot of features they have not touched because they want it to feel like the old game. But I don't know if that's just code for how we're kind of lazy and don't want to do all this because we're focusing on Arceus.
I think that was one of those things, because yeah, like somebody had mentioned before, it's like, oh, it feels stiff, but it's just like, you know, it's just because they're trying to be faithful to the old games. It's like, that's not good. You shouldn't be faithful to the shit parts of old games.
Yeah, don't do that. That's kind of like defeating the purpose of remaking it.
For real, literally, like, if you're gonna make it the same. Okay, speaking of some of the cooler features, though, that are going to be in these newer remakes, they are going to be giving you trainer customization. Now, that includes the features, like, you know, such as your skin tone and hair color and eye color and that sort of stuff. As well, though, you will get a lot of clothing options. That's going to be probably a main point of customization there. You'll be constantly changing your outfits up. I don't know if the clothes really offer you any benefits, but it's still cool to be able to customize your character to such a degree in these games, rather than just being stuck with, you know, one default character throughout the whole adventure.
And the customization continues with the secret bases that you also get. It's kind of like a hideout where you get to put all your like stuff that you acquire over the time in the game in the shops and whatnot. I don't know much about Pokemon. I'm going to be saying that a couple times in this, but
Yeah.
we have to mention this. It's a Pokemon game. It's going to be one of the biggest releases of the year, I'm sure. So it's definitely worth talking about.
That's right. You know, they've also got like the super contests, which like are returning. So I mean, I guess you can get hype points for that, and you can get hyped for super contest. I don't know. I don't know about Pokemon.
Yeah,
I don't know shit about Pokemon.
Get hyped! I don't know.
I don't know fucking anything about Pokemon. Okay, I'm talking about it for money. I don't know shit about Pokemon.
We're not even doing that. We don't get money for this at all.
We don't get money for this.
Shit, I'm sorry.
Fuck!
Oh no. Anyway, guys.
I'm talking about Pokemon for nothing.
Can you guys subscribe to the channel? Then maybe we can get money for this. But also, the Pokemon news doesn't end here, guys. We got one more thing to talk about. Is or a couple more things, I think. Obviously, there's an online mode. Don't forget that. You can do battles against other people. There's going to be a co-op mode with called the Grand Underground. I don't know much about that mode, so if you want to look into that, it's called Grand Underground. Google that. But there's also a Pokemon companion follower thing. I'm really reading off a script here, guys. Can we move on to the next one now? Are we allowed to do that?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we can. We can move on.
Honorable mention. Animal Crossing Happy Home Paradise DLC.
It's time to DLC!
Yeah!
Wow, that title is a bit of a mouthful, not gonna lie. But yeah, so we're getting some more DLC for Animal Crossing. If that's your kind of thing, then I'll bet you got a big fucking stiffy right now. This game is coming out on November 5th for the Switch, of course, because Animal Crossing... Can you imagine if it was on the PlayStation? That'd be fun. What if Animal Crossing was on PC? What the fuck? Yeah, it's on Switch, so that's an exclusive right there. Developed by Nintendo EPD and published by Nintendo. I don't know what the EPD stands for, but that's what it said, so we're putting that down.
European Police Detectives.
That's exactly what it is, the Nintendo European Police Detectives.
That's not a fact. Anyway, it's a life sim builder game, as you already know, I'm sure. But this is going to be continuing off of that. Obviously, it's DLC, so literally is continuing off of that.
It's expanding on a game you've already played.
I gotta get this video out of the way. I'm just
We're just rambling.
Droning on at this point. The game offers a separate islands for you to go to, and actually, you are pretty well being like an architect for them, and you're going to be customizing all sorts of houses and helping out even with other things, others than houses too. Apparently, you're going to be helping characters build their vacation homes. Just typical Animal Crossing shit, guys. There's not a whole lot that's going to be crazy new, but they're featuring a bunch of returning characters too from the previous games that weren't available in New Horizons there, so that's good to see.
So I'm sure that the customization for homes in Animal Crossing is already pretty in-depth, but this is going to expand upon that, and you're going to find a ton of different homes in different settings, and there will be several biomes in which you can travel and build these homes in. Anything from like tropical beaches to nice grassy fields and cold tundras, you know, winter forests, that kind of stuff.
And then a couple of last minute features I saw before we moved on here is you get increased storage in your inventory, and there's also going to be the ability to cook and grow vegetables. Apparently you weren't able to do that before, but now you can. So there's just adding more stuff to the game, guys. If you're a fan of Animal Crossing, I'm sure you're just really happy about this. I'm not a big Animal Crossing guy myself, but I know many people that are, and they're super pumped. So,
can I farm livestock?
I think that's the whole point of the game. I'm not sure.
Like in Animal Crossing, I can cook and eat animals. Do you
cross the animals?
Yeah, like do you cross them? Like, is that what it means? Like Animal Crossing, like you cross them, like they are crossed with you.
I bet people are wondering which games we actually do play at this point. Let's move on to the next one before we get too sus.
Number 1. Shin Megami Tensei 5.
Coming out on Remembrance Day, that's November 11th, is this Switch exclusive by Atlas, and that's developed by Atlas. It's going to be published as well by Sega and Nintendo. It's going to be an RPG, and it's turn-based. Now, if anybody is a fan of Persona, that's kind of like these guys' main series that everybody knows. But Shin Megami Tensei has been around even longer than Persona, and Persona is really based like around Shin Megami.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a fan of Persona and you respect that series, you might want to take a look into this one. A lot of things you'll see is familiar in that series to this one, so definitely take a look into it if you are a fan of Persona.
Oh my god, shock and awe. This is a JRPG where you play as a high school student. Wow, imagine that. You know what? I need to get facts straight here. Like, I need to call Atlas and, are you serious? Yeah, so you play as a high school student turned into a demon warrior. So, I mean, you've probably heard that plot a ton of times, but hey, it's Shin Megami Tensei. You know what you're here for. There will be choice-based gameplay, of course. It is an RPG, so you're going to find yourself making a lot of choices that can affect the gameplay as well as the endings. Oh my god, crazy, right? Imagine that.
Yeah, imagine that in a game with decisions. There's different endings. That's great, honestly. Not exactly groundbreaking, but it's always good to see. And this game's going to feature, I guess, 214 demons I've read here. I guess that's about half the number of what they used to have in the previous game. But I guess the world's bigger and there's a lot more into the game, so we'll give them some slack there. You can still fuse demons and all the typical shit you'd see in Persona or any other RPG, actually. A typical RPG formula in this, guys, where you have buffs, debuffs, elemental weaknesses, that kind of thing. It is very, very formulaic. It's something you've seen before, 100%. And people are saying as well that it's a hybrid of the third and the fourth game. I haven't played any Shin Megami games, but if you have, then you might know what the hell I'm talking about. I don't. That being said, this game looks really cool, so we just wanted to say something about it.
Yeah, we didn't really have a whole lot of information, but basically the developers even said they are not trying to reinvent the wheel with this. They are not trying to do anything too crazy. They just want to give fans of the series what they already know and love. So don't be expecting anything too different. Just be expecting the same level of quality you've been getting the entire time.
Perfect. And you know what? What more could you really ask for in a game?
I'd be satisfied.
Yeah, exactly. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right, guys? Let's move on to the ending of our video here, guys. There's no more picks. That's it. We are going to go home now. I think we should probably tell you guys to subscribe to the channel, though. We would appreciate it, and it'll help the channel get better. We'll get more equipment, more games, and we can focus more on the channel and less on our stupid vanilla work lives. It's getting really boring.
I'll get paid to talk about Pokemon.
Like we've all wanted and dreamed for.
Yes.
Eric talking about Pokemon.
I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Neither do I, but that's okay, because we're not here to talk about the in-depths of it. We're just here to tell you guys what the hell's happening this month. And those are the biggest releases. So that being said, if you enjoyed, we appreciate the support that you guys may show, whether it be a like, sharing with your friends, commenting on the video, whatever, that all helps out. And if you guys want to support us even further, we do have a Twitch community. We stream every Friday and Saturday. Usually around 9-10 p.m. Eastern time is our start time there. And we play something different every time. So for variety streamers, you'll find us doing something different every weekend. It's a good time, though.
Yeah, guys, so that's about it for this video. I hope that it has left you with a half chub and you're feeling pretty satisfied over there. I know that we are. And then we will see you in the next video or on stream. So thanks for joining. Thanks for watching.
Project dismissed.
Peace out.
Yeah.
That's right. So yeah, this is another...
Oh, fuck, that smells.
It's not good, man. You should check into that.